morning, and we're at the hotel, and we're gonna leave to Mount Rushmore. Also, we're gonna go see the Badlands, so it's gonna be pretty fun today. We'll do more stuff, and we'll see you guys at.
And we're in, I forgot what state, but we're in a state, I think, and this is Yive.
We're in Corn Palace, North Dakota.
We are in South Dakota. We're gonna take a drive to Batty and Safford Park, and we just finished our hotel breakfast.
Yeah, then we're also gonna go to Mount Rushmore, so it's gonna be really fun. Hello, and we're in South Dakota, at the Corn Palace. So we might go in and make a tour. Amazing that it's actually made out of corn. It probably didn't take that long to do it, but yeah. It's really cool though.
And you can see how it's like not all made of corn, but like the art, the perfectly good art, is actually made of corn.
But just like different colors of corn also.
But the other stuff is like hay and flowers. Whatever that is, and you can see that there's burnt corn, perfectly cooked corn, and there's all corn. Yeah, she told me she's gonna go inside. Let's go inside.
2, 3.
You can see the person that made these cornmeal. They made a young person made of corn.
It looks pretty cool. I guess this type of place is famous for the corn, so there's a museum about it. And if you walk over here, it looks like these are like deer antlers stuff, tools that they used, probably the natives probably used for their getting the corn and all the other stuff. You can see that some crushed corn in here. See? Yeah, I guess they crushed the corn in there. It's really cool.
Look how it is like long time ago, but you can see it's just like black and dry now.
So what is this?
Oh, it's nothing.
That's what it is.
It's made of corn?
Yeah, everything.
Can we go over there?
Feels really
Yeah. Nicer to each other. Exactly. Yeah, any questions at all for me before I go? Yeah, it was nice meeting you guys. Yes.
All the corns on the wall, they fake or real?
They're real corn, all real corn. And there's actually 12 different colors of corn. And they're all just kind of grown that color. It's not like we paint them or dye them or anything.
and it's all grown by one farmer just right outside of Mitchell. It's kind of crazy. And we use 275,000 cobs of corn every single year, so lots of corn. It's all real that they put up there, so kind of interesting. But yeah, the outside of the building, they change all the murals on the outside every single year. They take everything down, put all new stuff, and each year it's always a new theme that they choose. But these inside murals here in this room, these ones they don't change every year like the outside ones do. These designs, they actually always stay the same here in this room. Oscar Howe designed these, and Oscar Howe was a designer for the Corn Palace for a long, long time. So they kind of keep them up in like memory of Oscar Howe and how much he contributed. And then actually the 3 on that side, and then 3 on the other side there, all of those murals have been on the outside of the building at one point in time. Different years, different themes, but they're kind of key parts of South Dakota. So they keep them all up in here permanently. They just kind of have to switch the corn out about every 10 to 15 years because it gets a little bit old, starts to fall apart a bit. But they just like swap out the corn and keep the same designs up. But yeah, starting over here on this side, with the mural farthest to the left there, that is showing a South Dakota miner who is panning for gold in Lead, South Dakota, which is like in the Black Hills area. And actually, in the right-hand corner there, you can see that stair-step-shaped building. That's showing the Homestake Gold Mine, which was one of the biggest gold mines in the entire world at one point in time, which is kind of crazy. But in 2002, they actually repurposed it into a scientific laboratory. It's also kind of cool. They have scientists from all over the world that go there to do all sorts of different experiments and research and cool stuff like that deep under the ground. So that's what that's showing. The middle mural there, that's showing a group of hunters who are hunting for pheasants, which is actually kind of weird for South Dakota because the pheasants are a state bird. We're one of only 3 states that let you hunt the state bird. It's kind of weird, but the pheasants do actually outnumber our population 8 to 1. There are a lot of pheasants live in South Dakota, well over 7 million of them. Yeah, so there's a lot of pheasants that live here. And the last one there on that side, that is showing Mount Rushmore. It's the biggest attraction here in South Dakota with 2.5 million visitors every single year. So lots of people go to that.
You're gonna go there today.
Ooh, exciting. It's gonna be real fun. Underneath it, the zigzag line represents the Black Hills National Forest. And then the deer there, that represents all the wildlife that live in that area. Over onto this other side, starting with one farthest to the right, that is showing the Native American, and then the settler, and they're exchanging a plate of food over fire, just kind of representing like the early days of South Dakota, when the relationship between the two is just starting to form, is still kind of in the early stage and a bit fragile, so that's what that's representing. The middle mural is showing a man by the name of Father DeSmit, who is praying over the Badlands, which are here in South Dakota, and he does also have a town named after him, DeSmit. And I don't know if you've ever heard of Laura Ingalls Wilder, but she lived there for a long time, and she wrote a lot of books about her life there, which is kind of fun. And then the last one there on that side, that is showing some Native Americans and 2 things that were really important to them, which was the buffalo and the corn stalk. And lots of the things that they use every single day would come from those 2 things. For example, like their clothes and their shelter, it was made from the hide of the buffalo. Weapons and tools, they used the bones of the buffalo. Food, all sorts of stuff like that. So those 2 things were super special to them and just the way they lived their life. And then across the front of this room here, this is kind of like a comparison between the 2. On the left-hand side, they have the settler, and on the right side, the Native American. First circle in, it shows their main of housing. So they have the log cabin and the buffalo hide teepee. The second circle in, that's kind of showing their main source of food with the cattle, an American bison or buffalo. And then that third circle in, that one can actually be viewed as 2 different ways, being either education or religion, with books and schooling or the Bible. And the bird represents nature and how they learned from it, but also how they worshipped it. And they're the center, they're coming together, shaking hands and reconciliation. But kind of a fun fact people don't notice quite at first, they did make a bit of a mistake when they put that up there, and they kind of swapped it around the wrong way by accident. So technically, if you think about it, it's kind of 2 left hands up there, rather than right hands. Kind of interesting. Over onto the far left side, kind of underneath that big mural, again, it's just kind of showing how it was, kind of right at the start specifically. Kind of eyeing each other down there. There's some tension, maybe avoiding each other a little bit. But then onto the right side is showing where they needed to be. With the adults, they're just talking together over some coffee. And the kids are playing together there too, so. Yeah, any more questions about anything?
No.
Yeah, well, thanks for coming to the Corn Palace.
Yes. Thank you for having time.
Yeah, thanks so much. Yeah, it was my pleasure. It was nice meeting you all.
And thank you for Max for informing us for this beautiful place, the Corn Palace. Thank you. A shout out for Max. Thank you. It's a really fun place for kids. in the South Dakota, a corn palace. It's a really fun. It's a really fun time here. It's good for family and friends, and it's just a really fun place. It's also free. Yeah, it's just that it just tells you a lot about the history of this place and how it became a place. It's really historical.